the blue blur is back again. In just 3 short months, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 finally speeds onto the big screen and seems destined to become the holiday season's big family hit. Considering how well-liked the first 2 installments have been in a fanbase as infamously divided as Sonic's, the recently released trailer suggests more of the same. Not to mention, fans will finally get to see Shadow the Hedgehog get his cinematic debut, and voiced by Keanu Reeves, no less. Yet much about the film remains up in the air. Paramount has played coy about the franchise's future, and especially considering how much of a grand finale vibe the trailers seem to have, it's easy to wonder if Sonic the Hedgehog is wrapping things up. We hope not. For a franchise as massive as Sonic, there's still a plethora of compelling side characters we'd like to see the movies explore. But it's particularly shocking that 2 of the game's most popular characters, Amy Rose and Rouge the Bat, have yet to appear in the films at all thus far. Who are Amy and Rouge in the Sonic franchise? Of all the side characters the Sonic films have yet to introduce, Amy Rose might be the most surprising, considering she first debuted in the franchise's 3rd game, 1993's Sonic CD. She was introduced as a love interest for the Blue Blur, and her kidnapping at the hands of the villainous Metal Sonic, created by Dr. Robotnik, is what sets the game's story in motion. Considering how minimal video game stories were in the era of the Sega Genesis, one couldn't fully get invested in Amy's character back then. It wasn't until 1998's Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast that her personality came into sharp focus. That game depicts her as an energetic tomboy, able to defend herself in battle even if she doesn't match her friends in speed or strength. But most fans know her for her almost obsessive crush on Sonic and determination to become his girlfriend, even if it's clear he doesn't quite reciprocate her feelings. Meanwhile, Rouge the Bat first appeared in 2001's Sonic Adventure 2, starting out in an initially villainous role before transitioning into a more traditional anti-hero. When we first met her, she was a self-employed treasure hunter, occasionally doing freelance work for the government. When Dr. Robotnik releases Shadow into the world, government officials order her to investigate Sonic's new enemy and his mysterious origins. Instead, she secretly cuts a deal with Robotnik, who pays her to help him steal the Chaos Emeralds alongside Shadow. She regularly clashes with Knuckles, now the star of his own miniseries, as she tries to steal the Master Emerald he's sworn to guard with his life. But after he saves her life, she starts to soften up a bit, and by the story's climax, she's helping our heroes fight back against the monstrous Bio-Lizard, the game's final boss. In subsequent appearances, she's mostly seen working alongside Shadow, proving her status as one of the franchise's most unscrupulous, if still ultimately noble, characters. Why haven't Amy or Rouge appeared in the Sonic films yet? Considering how prominent both Amy Rose and Rouge the Bat are in the video games, it's a bit surprising the films have yet to introduce them. Admittedly, both characters have received a polarizing reception among Sonic fans. It's the Sonic fanbase, after all. While many like Amy's cute personality, others find her annoying, and Rouge has almost as many detractors as supporters. Both characters have also come under minor fire in the past from feminists for their gender representation. Some have argued that Amy's pink coloring and clear feminine features are too stereotypical, and many have noted that Rouge's appearance seemed like a clumsy way to bring sex appeal into the franchise. But then again, Shadow the Hedgehog remains as divisive as any other character in the franchise. His self-titled 2005 spin-off game was widely ridiculed, to the point that it greatly stained his overall popularity. But that hasn't stopped fans from getting excited about the new movie, even without the addition of Keanu Reeves. If fans can become excited about him again, they could theoretically get excited about anyone, except Big the Cat. And since the Sonic films have taken dramatic liberties with their characterization from the beginning, most notably with Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik, it seems feasible that the creative team could find a way to put an exciting new spin on Amy and or Rouge that would keep most fans happy. Amy and Rouge would fit right at home in the character dynamics the films have already established. Sonic himself hasn't been changed much from his classic characterization, and a potential romance dynamic with Amy has a lot of great comedic potential, and since the movies have admittedly been light on female characters overall, she'd be a welcome inclusion. As for Rouge, considering how much of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is clearly inspired by Sonic Adventure 2, theoretically, it'd be the perfect film for her to debut in, even if that's not actually the case. But will they ever appear in the movies? Despite the grand finale vibe the recent Sonic 3 trailer gave, one has to imagine Paramount will continue the franchise as long as it keeps making them money. Therefore, it stands to reason that either Amy, Rouge, or both will eventually get their time to shine in the future. The Sonic franchise has room to grow. While it's admittedly disappointing that Amy and Rouge won't be appearing in Sonic 3, meaning the film won't be a beat-for-beat adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, it's a movie that's already clearly juggling a lot. Not only are we seeing the introduction of Shadow, along with his backstory, and Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, also played by Jim Carrey, but the creative team also has to balance that while giving ample screen time to Team Sonic and the human characters, and anything more could run the risk of feeling overstuffed. Fans will just have to be patient and have faith that, eventually, Amy and Rouge will get their time to shine. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 releases in theaters on December 20th.